my beautiful souls. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How is your heart? Um, the last 2 weeks, we knew they would be quite intense, but good gracious. For me personally, I was like not expecting that level of intensity. And yet, we're still okay and we're still smiling, and there's still so much to be grateful for in this beautiful world that we live in. So my loves, we're coming up to the new moon, which is at 1 degrees in Aquarius, and that is either on the 21st of Jan or the 22nd of Jan, depending where you are. And this new moon really has quite a depthful flavor. So Aquarius, the sign actually Aquarius, is really much your humanitarian, but not in the sense of the same as the one-on-one, but it's very much about the group, the collective. The Aquarians are the visionary. They're also quite eccentric, but they're able to be like what is best for the group, and then often, because it's always this big collective group outlook, it can be quite an unemotional sign, because it's about the big picture, not necessarily coming back into that space. Aquarius also very much linked to technologies. We're seeing these AI developments coming through, which is very aligned with Pluto moving into Aquarius in March, which we'll chat about then. So, it's also about how do we use technology. And we can use technology for good, for the greater good of everyone. And naturally, there's also I'd say the less good side. I don't want to say anything's bad or good. It's all relative, but might not necessarily be for the greater good of humanity. And so that sort of gives you a flavor of Aquarius. And a new moon really is, when you think of it, it's the moon and the sun are conjunct. So it's dark. There isn't really light. It's very much you're like in an inward space. And I feel that perhaps that can feel a bit conflicting in the sense, Mars is direct, Mercury is direct, and it feels like there's a bit of a push, but we're just not ready to push out just yet. We still need these few days. And the reason I say it is if we quickly just look at what conjunctions have been happening. And so we've had Sun conjunct Pluto this week. The moon also does a conjunction with Pluto just before it comes into the new moon phase. We also have the moon sextiling Neptune, also going to be sextiling Jupiter. And then on the 22nd, we have Venus squaring Saturn, and we also have Uranus stationing direct. And so I'll just briefly chat that whenever we have a big planet stationing direct, we don't necessarily feel the impact of the retrograde or the forward movements as much as we do our personal planets like Mercury and Mars. But we do feel the impact when they come into the stationing of direct or retrograde. So you're already starting to feel a bit of this energy building, and it will be for a few days after that as it moves out of the direct. And so what all of this is, what does this all mean? Pluto is about transformation. It's our subconscious. It's deep. It's asking us to, what do we really want to transform and let go? Neptune's, our illusions, the dreams we have, tapping into that higher consciousness. Uranus is about freedom, eccentricity, revolution, breaking away from the old. And so we have all of this sort of bubbling underneath and coming into this new moon, this energy. And what the image that came through for me for this was, it's almost as if we've been in this beautiful cocoon. We've been this caterpillar, and we've decided to transform ourselves over this periods of retrograde and everything. And we're emerging out of the cocoon. And I was very lucky once I actually watched a butterfly emerge out of the cocoon, and it's a very slow process. It's not just dunk there. It takes hours for it to come out, slowly start feeling its wings, slowly start moving. And I feel this is where we're at in this new moon, is we're sort of just emerging out of the cocoon. We're sort of feeling this invitation of, okay, cool. We've been in this journey of self-reflection. We've been deciding what we want, what we don't want, what we want to leave behind in the cocoon, what we really want to change within selves. And so we can't suddenly just go, okay, I'm now just going to fly away. It's this sort of really beautiful transition period where we get to just be like, oh, those are pretty cool wings you have there. How do they feel? Like, what does it feel? And so this really, for me, feels like this new moon energy, and probably like maybe the week till the end of January, just giving yourself the grace to feel into the new, to sort of feel into this new moon energy of like, what are my visions? What am I really working towards? Are they still the same? Things can change. Just because you decided to do something at the beginning of January doesn't mean that with all the information you've received, how things have shifted, that your dreams and goals could be totally different at the end. And that's the beauty and the gift, is that we constantly have an opportunity to realign and redirect. And so this is for me, is like really this beautiful weekend, like time of really thinking about, reflecting into that, feeling into this newness, feeling how it feels, feeling how you wish to move forward, deciding how you wish to move forward. And so resisting the urge to just rush into stuff, but really taking those gentle measurements or gentle steps of like really going into that space. Because, my loves, we have the forward momentum energy February, March till I think the mid of April, 21 April. So it's not like we're going to like just miss out on it. We really have the time to then be able to be fully immersed into this forward thing and letting things unfold. And so really enjoy this invitation to just refill into stuff, really refill into what you want the next steps on your journey to be and how you wish to take them. Another really big thing that's come through for me is Aquarius is about the nervous system. It regulates that. And naturally, when we're in a high state, of either stress and that, it's where we go in that fight or flight response, the cortisol, our adrenaline. And so we really want to, and from that space, it's really challenging to really have clarity and that sort of thing. And so all of these planets and these movements and momentum can feel like a lot on your nervous system. And so really beautiful thing, that everyone can do, and it really is such a simple practice, is connect into your breath. Aquarius is an air sign, so maybe tending just 5 minutes over this period and just doing long deep breathing, really focusing on the exhale, because that really activates your vagus nerve, which then helps with your parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about rest, and allowing your body to just go into the state. And so it can be really like an inhale for 4, exhale for a count of 6 or 8, really making your exhalation longer than your inhalation. And just spending 5 minutes of that, my love, like doing that, my loves, is just so powerful, and it brings you back into your body. It brings your body into a really beautiful state of receptivity, and connective to that. So I would just really be aware of that, our nervous systems are also being triggered over this new moon period. And we then have the power of coming in and just nurturing and holding ourselves. So it can feel intense, my loves. For me, the fact that Uranus direct is anything can happen. We never really know. And so just being aware of that, and using this period, like I said, if you just take some time to come into self, almost see as if it's the final little pieces. You're still looking at the cocoon, deciding, you're slowly coming out, really using this period with grace and compassion, so that you can fly forth in beautiful momentum over the next few months. So I'm just sending you so much love, so much ease if it feels like it's a lot, and just a reminder that you have the power and the choice to always come back to your breath, to come back to your own place of stillness. And then from there, you can make forward decisions and momentum from an empowered place of self and not feeling like you're rushed into stuff. So I love you so much, my beautiful souls, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye, loves.